So I got a quick and dirty video showing you how to submit a hand to enable the future for approval to make hands for people that might need them. So you can go to the forums and there are instructions on how to do this. And I'm basically just going to run through these instructions and show you what we're going to be looking for. So our first step is to introduce yourself. So my name is Eric Bubar. I've been working with Enable for a few years now. And I'm going to be one of a few volunteers that are going to be assessing these devices virtually so that you don't have to send anything in. So let's refocus onto the device itself and now the steps of what you want to do. First, you want to manipulate it and show its functionality. So just show us that when you bend the wrist, the hand actually functions. Show it us this from a few different angles. Make sure that we can see that the thumb is actually pinching with the index finger. And we just want to make sure that everything works nicely. And then we can show the functionality. Maybe pick up a little ball. So I like to use a little football and kind of show, yes, my device can pick up a football if I get it nice and well oriented. And then I can throw the football. Next, we want to show the print quality. So as far as showing the print quality, we want to show that it's adjustable. So that's going to relate mostly to the tensioner if you're printing one of these kinds of devices. So this little tensioner on the back, we can show that we have these screws. And as I screw this, you want to see that that bar is actually moving in and out. So we can adjust the tension. So we can increase or decrease just by turning these screws. So that shows that you've got your device hooked up correctly. Next, you want to show print features closely and highlight any problems in the test print. So we can show all the features, kind of show your block is nice and tight on your gauntlet. That's not going to budge. Show that you have a nice thermoformed structure. You might have a little bit of bend in your gauntlet. That's just fine. Maybe show how you thermoformed. I use the jig from Team Unlimited. You might use a wooden block or something like that. Show kind of the features and structures where things connect. So we have these pins that connect at the wrist, kind of show that those are locked in and nice and tight, and that these pin caps aren't going to be popping off anytime soon. Also show that you have nice connections with the pins for the palm and for the fingers. And you'll notice something in this test print that these palms, pins for the palm are a little bit small, so that's going to happen when you get slightly bigger hands, as long as your fingers are functioning correctly and there's not too much wiggle room and it doesn't seem like these things are going to pop out. I can shake this like crazy. That's not popping out. It's not budging. Everything is nice and tight, so I can show that. Kind of show your fingertips, and this is one area where there's sometimes problems, especially on some of the lower cost printers. They can't handle these fingers quite perfectly, and you can see that that kind of happens here. So if we look very, very closely, you can see that there's a little bit of roughness in this fingertips. A little bit of roughness is okay. Aesthetically, you can't really tell this from a distance. You have to get really, really close in to really see that it's a little bit rough. But just show that if you have some roughness. So those would be the features that we'd want to show and the print quality. Finally, you want to stress test everything, manually attempt to bend fingers and other solid parts. So that's going to be, can I bend this so that it's going to start cracking? No cracking. Can I bend the palm? Can I push in palm to both sides? No bending, no cracking going on. Can I take the finger? Am I going to snap this off? No, you're not going to snap. I'm not going to snap a finger out of the palm. So that's going to work well. And kind of show that all your fingers are well adjusted and well tensioned so that they just pop right back into place when you pull them. Okay, so it functions without actually having to do things at the wrist as well. Then you want to tell us where the design came from. So this is the Team Unlimited Phoenix hand with the 3-pin tensioner and their thermoformed gauntlet. Thank you very much to Drew Murray and Stephen Davies for this design. I'm a big fan. We can assess things other than just the 3-pin tensioners, though. We can assess you if you do the Whipple tree, or if you do something like a 5-pin tensioner, or if you do a completely different hand design, something like a Raptor Reloaded, or something like a K1 hand maybe, or any of the devices that Enable tends to use. Next, mention what type of printer you used. So we used a Printerbot Metal Simple. for this particular device and kind of give some ideas about how well it worked. So PrinterBot Metal Simples, we're big fans in my lab. They work very well. The only problem that our PrinterBots have are printing bigger than this. So this is the largest size we can fit on the print bed. And also it sometimes runs into troubles with the fingertips being a little bit rough. So the way that we found to counteract this is to kind of make sure that the printer is very stable, that it's not wobbling at all, and make sure that your pieces are in the middle of the print bed. And that will help to make these fingertips a little bit smoother, give you a nice, good print for PrinterBot in particular. And then what challenges you encountered and how they were addressed. So we didn't really have any challenges. We've been making these for a long time. The one problem we did run into, again, is these fingertips, and we figured out how to fix that by adjusting things so that the pieces are printing in the middle of the printer, and that's about it. So once you've got this video, go to the forums and you can post the video up in some approvals and submissions. There are very copious instructions, very clear instructions on how to do that, and then one of your volunteers will get back to you so you can start enabling the future.